Namaste, Jay Bhar. Last couple of days I was in the company of young budding philosophers who were doing postdoctoral research. It's a kind of research that's after obtaining a doctorate. And the young minds, young budding minds, have very innovative thoughts and ideas into directions which were hitherto untraveled. All this is kinds of things were inspiring experiences with these young minds. Then many thoughts, many were discussing in terms of something which is not too many of us. That's the question of artificial intelligence. Now, artificial intelligence, of course, is very helpful, very meaningful, very useful, and maybe taking us forward in a much faster pace of time. But then suddenly what came to my mind in this discussion is that can artificial intelligence do philosophy? Since there was a gathering of budding philosophers who were sufficiently, in fact, and very rigorously trained in philosophy already, I was trying to put this question to them that can artificial intelligence do philosophy? Now the questions, the reactions were mixture, obviously, naturally. But let's see, can artificial intelligence do philosophy? This would, the answer would require an understanding of philosophy as you understand, how you understand philosophy. It's very difficult to make any kind of definition of philosophy, and even conceptualization can't just be spelled out because that's an area which is an endless kind of area. So let's say, in a simple terms, a philosophy ought to be understood as what the process of what is the case to what ought to be the case. See, things are presented to you as what is the case. Maybe let's call it as facts. Things present. Now, from the facts which are presented to you, which let me call as what is the case, then there's a possibility of one to imagine, or it's not as simple as spurious imagination, it should be legitimate logical imagination. So since this is the case, then there's a possibility of looking into future with the next moment. Given what is the case, one can contemplate, discuss, or speculate on what ought to be the case. Now there's a movement from what is the case to what ought to be the case. Given the European understanding of philosophy, one would tend to say, yes, philosophy should be something of a process from what is the case to what ought to be the case. Now, if this given this on understanding of philosophy, how would you approach artificial intelligence? And is it really possible for us to say that artificial intelligence can do this from what is the case to what ought to be the case? I think this kind of movement from what is the case to what ought to be the case is mechanically not possible. Now, this philosopher Henry Bergson speaks about a theory which, of course, way back, not yesterday, way back in time. He speaks about something like intuitionism, and then those scientists who speak about hypotheses won't they help us in understanding how a hypothesis is formed, how a hypothesis is occurring. Without hypothesis, a searcher, scientist or anyone, can't quite go forward, because he must have a desideratum. He must have some vague idea in his mind that what he is going to search for, and very clear idea that what he wants to achieve as a proof, or what he wants to prove. So roughly this is something like hypothesis. Now, no one can ever teach anyone that how to make or form a hypothesis. Now, artificial intelligence can't do these things as I understand. Maybe artificial intelligence can give you a list of possible hypotheses. I don't really know. Those who work in the area of artificial intelligence may be able to speak of this, a series of it. But then the process of a movement from what is the case to what ought to be the case cannot be artificialized, since the whole thing shall be mechanical kind of work with something like synthetic unities and less analytical interpreters, though they would use analysis in their work. But then what I mean is conceptual analysis of things from complex to simple, done through your mind, not through any instruments. So, given all these things, the answer should be something like it becomes difficult for the artificial intelligence to do philosophy, maybe something else, everything else they can do. But then I should think that it's quite possible for artificial intelligence to do philosophy. And given the case that artificial intelligence can't do philosophy or don't do philosophy as of now, but I don't know if it can happen in future, then philosophy and artificial intelligence may go in hand with various things, but then philosophy per se, the core kinds of understanding. See, I'm still talking about philosophy as a speculative philosophy. There is another area of philosophy which is in Bharat, that is experiential philosophy. That, of course, would definitely shall be much beyond the frame and scope of anything like artificial intelligence, which of course is anything which is artificial, or anything which is mechanical, or anything that would be synthetic unity. But then that's a different thing. But even this kind of speculative philosophy, maybe it's a possibility that artificial intelligence can give multiple possibilities of a thing that you would like to work on, and beyond that, I don't think it's quite possible. So let's say at least till now that philosophy is not the cup of tea of artificial intelligence. So I come with some other thought again. Till then, namaste, Jai Bharat, Jai Shri Ram.